Hi, I'm In this video I want to focus on a fantastic tune by Dr. Lonnie Smith called Backtrack. Now in 2009 I was lucky enough to travel to Fort Lauderdale and study with Dr. Lonnie Smith. I got to stay at his house, and for about 8 days we spent several hours every day just playing duets, and that was a blast. I learned a lot. And one of the things that I made sure to do was to get him to teach me some of his rather unique originals. And this one that I'd like to play for you and pull apart a little bit is called Backtrack. and it's from his 2004 album called Too Damn Hot. And this is a really interesting tune in terms of its structure, because there's a whole lot of symmetry involved in the music. It's not all that obvious when you play it or when you listen to it, but it does go to show or demonstrate a little bit of how Dr. Lonnie thinks about music. And even the record cover has got symmetry built into it, so there's something going on there. The other thing I'd like to say about Dr. Lonnie before we get into the music is he was like a magician at the Hammond B3 organ. There was always more music than you could see evidence for between his hands and his feet. And I just think that he was a very, very special human being. And when he came to Australia, we'd be out on the street, you know, getting some food or getting coffee or whatever. And people didn't know who he was, but they would be drawn to him. They'd just come up to him and want to talk to him. And I feel very lucky to have got to spend time with Doc. He was a special guy. So here we go with Backtrack. I hope you enjoy it. And I've got some resources if you want a chart for this or some educational materials. Make sure that you contact me and I can get those to you. Okay, so here's the introduction to Backtrack. So it's just this really nice F minor major 7 chord with the 7th down here and the 9th tucked in next to the minor 3rd. It's a nice mysterious sounding chord. And the couple of variations, even though, you know, like the chord symbol for this entire section would just be F minor, Doc plays, you know, a fairly common voicing for a C7 with a sharp 9 and a sharp 5. And then the mystery chord at the end, which a lot of people seem to maybe mishear a little bit, is this one, which is unusual. So that's the basics of it. I will say though, it does help to be playing this on a real console organ with the key contacts so that you can play it in a very percussive style. So now for the melody of Backtrack. So the melody is actually really simple, and it just moves it mostly in whole steps. And in an F minor context, that's kind of, to me, my mind, that's based upon the F natural minor scale. However, Doc's harmonizing like this with this, and there is some symmetry. I mean, all these whole steps, you know, sound mysterious. And the way that he harmonizes those melody lines is with this F minor 6/9, with the melody dropping to the tonic there, and then C7 altered again, like he used in the introduction. And these chord voicings are symmetrical. However, of course, it's the bass note that changes the relationship. But that's really what the A section's doing. So the B section to backtrack is based upon more symmetrical movements, both in the melody and in the chords. And yet again, it's a really simple melody that finally reveals its destination, and the melody steps are just based on minor thirds, moving in whole steps. So it's a very, very simple pattern. And the root notes are moving around in major thirds. And the best way to see them is like this, you know, C to E, B flat to D, C to E, B flat to D, one more time, and then finally A flat back to C. And those notes, you know, moving like that, major thirds down in whole steps, kind of implies the whole tone scale, doesn't it? However, the chords on top of that are not derived from that scale, but they repeat every 2 beats. So we have C minor 9 to E7 with a sharp 9 and a sharp 11, and then down a whole step to B flat and D, D7 sharp 9 sharp 11, and that repeats again. And then the last time is A flat minor 9 back to C. So that's the B section. Okay, so the basics of the pedal part in backtrack. There's a few things to know, but the basic groove is really just like a lot of jazz organ pedal playing, in that it's used for accents and percussion. And in backtrack, the basic groove is accents on beat 1 and 3, with this little octave jump that Lonnie does either every 2nd bar or every 4th bar actually. And it's like this. And you'll notice that I'm tapping in between those accents. That's the time-keeping accent aspect, I should say, of bass pedals. And later on, he does some accents that I call these accents number 1, or syncopation number 1. Lots of R&B music has that, syncopation number 1. So when I put it together, for example, with the intro groove, it all adds together with the left hand and the right hand to create this. So there's the basics of the intro. And to be honest, like how Lonnie plays the A section, it's very, very similar, but he will do some variations on that, moving between that works pretty well. Sometimes I'll play that. And the next part that's really important to the tune is like in the B section, where we've got the symmetrical aspect of this song. The chords are moving around the whole tone scale. So we've got C, E, B flat, D. That repeats a few times. moving in major thirds. I mean, I guess we could play... but I'm pretty sure this is the way, you know, down the bottom end of the pedal board is how Lonnie showed it to me. So the whole thing put together sounds like this.